back, I just want to explain that these are our main menu, and it goes and runs infinitive amount of times, so it keeps going, going, and going during our game. And what it does, first of all, it checks what buttons we press, and based on the press buttons, it renders completely different buttons or text, etc. So just for example, what I just did, I changed current state, and based on it, we are going to draw a game. Also, if we are located in our main menu and we decide to check the rules, so it's our how to button, and we change our current state to how to play, and then we use this function, which is draw how to play. Right, we can check what this function does. So we've got so first of all we do our background colors. Then we've got our title. I'll just demonstrate. I'll just open the game, and so basically what we see our font title here, which is explained here. Then we render our how to play, so, which is this text. Then we center this text at the top as well. And we've got our instructions here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, we've got some more instructions here. So basically, it's just an array. Then we'll loop this array. And then for each line in this array, we just render each text. That's what it does. And we also render our back button. This button that is, let me show you, that is below here, right? So when we press this button, we basically change our state. So what we can check, around, yeah, this one. So if we allocate in our current state, if our current state is how to play, which I showed before, and we've got only one button, so this is the only thing that can happen in this um, state. So the only thing, so we render this text and we can just go back, right? So when we go back, we change our current state to menu, and then what we do, we just render our menu. So when we render our menu, we can see this function. So this is what gets activated. So we also just have some a background color. We've got a title. We draw our buttons as well. So we've got three buttons: start button, how to play button, and quit button, right? So we've got also different functions. It's just draw game button. So this is what happens when we decide to play our game. So we basically what it does, what it all describes here, is just what we see when we choose play button, right? And draw how to play button, I already explained this. So this is what we see when we decide to check the rules, right? And just going up, I'll just explain some other functions we've got here. So for now, we just set up our window here. So window width, window height, and if we want to make our window bigger or smaller, we can just adjust it here. This button class, I think I've already explained it. It just contains all the possible variations of our button. So when we create our new button, we just basically use this class and we pass all the values of our button that we want to have. So it's color, text, width, height, and the position X and Y. So that's where our button will be located. And again, I think I've already demonstrated how draw works. So basically, that's when we can create a button, we can store all our values, but to actually draw our buttons to make it visible, we need to use this function, right? So we've got three states that I've already explained how they work, and we've got some images here. So all this code that it does, it just imports our images, and we also use our library OS just to choose a path for all those images. We've got some game consonants like amount of players and cards per player uh, that are stored here. We've got some values for our cards. So, for example, we just say what weight and what height we want to have, right? And we've got some positioning. So, for player 2, cards are at the top of our screen. So, the value is not that high. So, because the lower our value is, the like the higher our value is, so for example, for player 1, we've got 540, which means that we're going like down, down, down below, and we've got all that set of cards. So that's what I mean here. So this is cards of player 1, and they're down below. That's why we've got that high value, yeah. But if we want to make them higher, for example, we can lower this value, and they will be like higher. Or we can make it lower as well if we want to make them lower. We just change this variable, right? And we've got our fonts. So because we've got different text, some titles, for example, they need to be really big, and we specify it here, right? They need to be big, and they need to be bold as well, right? But some texts, for example, some instructions, we've got so many of them, they can't be really big, so we just make them quite small, right? Um, every single game when we start, we also shuffle our deck, and this is the function that we use for shuffling our deck. So when we press play game, this is one of the functions that we use. So these functions are just basically just helping functions that we use during our code, right? So that's how they work. So they're just to help us to play our game. Right, so we've got some also mutable function variables. So during our game, we need to change our score and then render our score. So it's all stored here, right? We also change our message sometimes. So we can see our message here. Just quickly show you. So we can see this message. Both players click one of your cards. So when we click our card, we change our message, and it's different. So all of those messages are stored here, and then it's rendered in the middle of our screen, right? And also we store some selected cards. So when we press one of our cards, for example, player 2 decides to use this card, yeah, so it's stored in this specific selected variable. Uh, and these functions are mutable, so during the game they're being changed like all the time, every single time we do something in our game. We've got reset round. So what we do is just basically when the round is over, and we need to make so no cards are selected, for example, right? And we need to clean in our text as well because it's a new round. So that's why we just make it clear, right? We also reset a game. So when we reset a game, we basically need to use our default values that we had previously. This is a completely new game. We've got, we need to make our scores like 0-0, right? And with the same round should be 0 as well. When we press a bottle, for example, this is another function. We just basically what it does, it takes the chosen cards that the players chose, and then we compare those cards. And if player one card is high, then player one wins, right? If player two card is higher than player two wins, and we mutate our variables, so we give this score to player one and player two, right? So also we might have tie. So when, for example, the values of the cards are the same, we don't give the score to any of the players. So that's how it works. Um, we've got some buttons. So here we just declare what buttons we want to have. We don't draw those buttons right now. We draw those buttons a little bit lower. For example, here we can see from our menu. So when we're inside our menu, we use this draw function from our class, and only then those buttons become visible. Before that, our buttons are just stored here as our values, but they're not directly used, right? So these are all the buttons we can have in our game, and we can see all their values as well. So we can see the text, we can see their color as well, that is stored here as RGB colors, right? And we can see their location. So it's a rectangle, and we can see point X, point Y, and we can see how big they are. Um, that's how they basically work. And we've got some other functions as well that we use during our game. So these are card add and draw hand are basically used when we are in our game. So they're used in our main game function. This function when we use draw game. So when we draw game, all those basic functions are used inside this function. Right, so we've got, so basically how this application works, we've got this main loop that runs all over and over again, and we check the button. So when our button is pressed, we check we check the button, what it does, and then we just like based on what is pressed, we activate different functions we had described before the whole code, and this loop stops running only when we decide to quit our game. So then running is false, this loop is no longer active, and then we just quit our game. That's basically how it works. That's it.